Today is Monday, June 30th, and I finished Project Amaranth today. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to reach the ending of this book. It has been just one of the biggest dreams of my entire life to see this book in bookstores, to see you guys read it, to get to talk about it with you. This is literally 3 years of my whole heart and soul being poured into this book, and it's done now. I can't believe it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another writing vlog. We have a very exciting week ahead of us as far as writing is concerned. I think the last vlog that I filmed was my writing retreat video, which I posted over a month ago, and during that time I documented the whole process of writing the finale of my high fantasy book, Project Amaranth, and pretty much what's been happening since has just been a lot of very unglamorous writing. I will say that with all the work I've been putting into it, I feel really happy with the story right now. It feels much more solid than it did a year ago, and it definitely feels like I've been able to solve some of the problems that I had with the earlier versions of this story. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to reach the ending of this book. My goal, I think, was to finish this draft by April, and now it's June, and I'm just really ready for this version of the book to be done. I'm just excited to move on from the drafting process to the editing process, I think. And another very exciting thing that I'm pretty stoked about is that we are almost to the 150,000 word mark, which I'm more than a little stoked for. That just 150,000 words just feels like a very sturdy number for this draft. So lots to look forward to. We're going to be tipping over 150,000 words. We're going to be finishing the full draft of Project Amaranth. We're going to print out the whole thing and hold it in our hands, and I'm very excited about it. So without any further ado, cheers, let's jump in. These last few weeks, I've been spending a lot of time on those final chapters, just trying to make sure that everything's wrapped up, all the loose ends are tied. But if I'm being honest, I was also really struggling with figuring out what exact note to end this book on, because even though I've always known where the story would end, it's still a very different thing to arrive at that ending and try to put that feeling into words. So I did what I tend to always do when I get stuck like this, which is I talked to my sister, and that was really all I needed. It was actually kind of crazy. Like, in the course of that conversation, over a few hours, we were able to iron out not only the finale and the denouement chapters of this book, but a pretty crucial twist to a future book as well. After I talked to my sister, I just hammered out the second to last chapter in a single day. I think it was over the course of maybe 5 hours, and I got almost 3,000 words in, which is pretty great. So I'm really just down to the last chapter at this point. So last week I wrote the last 2 chapters of Project Amaranth, which felt really surreal, to be honest. Like, I think at this point I'm just kind of suppressing the feelings of finishing this book because I just don't want to deal with the fact that I'm almost done with this book. I think it's like a good thing, but it's also really bittersweet for me. So before I call this draft down, what I'm doing is I'm going back into the climax of the present story, and I'm just rewriting that pretty much just rewriting the whole thing. I just want to make sure that that scene in particular is done a little differently than how I wrote it before. Anyway, it's all very exciting things. It's all happening very quickly, more quickly than I have time to process. So anyway, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. All right, friends, this just in. I think I discovered the magical trick for having a really good writing day. It's super easy. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but literally the trick is this: wear a hat. If you have a hat on, it's almost like in the olden days where there were horse-drawn carriages and all the horses wore the blinders. A baseball hat or some similar type of hat is literally just blinders. And this is helpful because if you're at the library or the coffee shop or wherever it is that you're trying to get writing done and you don't want to be distracted by all the things that are happening, all you have to do is go like this. Boom. Laser focus. It's brilliant. This is my new favorite hat. It's got a heart on it so that I can ignore people, but they know that I love them. Yeah, why are we in the car right now? That's a great question because I wrote from home today. It just kind of felt right, you know? It's very quiet and peaceful out in the car. I can just kind of hear myself think. And today was a great writing day. I finished working through the last half of chapter 36, which is kind of the finale scene. It was, appropriately devastating, but I feel good. I feel good that I'm at this point. I think I'm probably only a couple days away from finishing. So much of this book for me has been formed through music. It's been really surprising to me coming to the end of this book to listen back to those songs, and I feel so nostalgic for those scenes and those moments of the book. Like, you know what it feels like is when you finish a really good movie and there are moments that just kind of haunt you afterwards. I have that feeling for my book. Like, I'm getting to the end of writing it and all I want to do is go read the story again from beginning to end, and I feel like that's a really cool sign. Some of those, not all, but some of the songs that have inspired Project Amaranth are on this playlist. So if you're at all curious, you can go check this out on Spotify. I'll link it down below. As I was writing this draft, there were a couple parts, especially near the end of the book, where I couldn't quite figure out exactly how to phrase something or exactly how to happen. So I just kind of skipped through it, and I basically just wrote in little brackets kind of what happens and then moved on to what happened next so that I could keep writing and keep up the momentum. So now that I've officially finished writing the final chapters of the book, what I want to do now before I officially call this draft done is go back to those bracketed scenes and kind of fill them all in. I'm trying to hold my camera with one hand and open this notebook with the other, so this is going to be kind of interesting here. So I made a list of all those bracketed scenes. There are 6 of them. 2 of them in part 2, 4 of them in part 3. Kind of looking at these now, for the most part, I think these are going to be pretty short, maybe just a few paragraphs each, but there's definitely one of them that is going to be 2 of them that are going to be significantly longer. So anyway, I shouldn't have done this because I'm supposed to wait, but I did go back and reread some of the scenes from the middle of the book near the end, and I just can't say anything. I'm not gonna say anything, but this book has got the juice, guys. I'm so excited to do my final read through of the whole book, but I'm trying to restrain myself because I want to wait. I want to have fresh eyes. I want to be able to read the whole thing through, but it's so hard. It's so hard because I just want to go back and experience it all from the beginning, but I'm not going to. I'm going to finish writing these last few scenes and I'm going to print it and put it away. But kind of in the spirit of formatting it, I've kind of been trying to tweak that a little bit. I've gotten a little ahead of myself here, as you can probably see. I was just too excited. I wanted to go through and reformat everything. So I did reformat a good chunk of the book, especially just the chapter titles and spacing and stuff, so that it would be ready to print soon when I am done with these last few scenes. So I'm gonna head home now and just kind of see how many of these. I'm hoping I can get through the 4 lighter ones, and then I'll really just have those 2 more substantial ones to work through. And so yeah, that's the update. Also, while I'm giving unsolicited writing advice, I would like to highly recommend my new favorite hydration potion. Literally, it's just lemon juice, coconut water, a handful of blueberries, honey, salt, and it's just like honestly, it's just like a really salty blueberry lemonade. It's actually really good, okay? Don't judge me. Good morning, everybody. It is currently the morning of Monday, June 23rd, and I'm about to go off and have a wonderful writing day. I picked these this morning. I grew these in my garden. I'm gonna become the hydrangea lady. That's my goal in life. I've started picking them. I'm gonna bring these to a friend this morning. So hopefully I'll give you a more thorough update when I get out of the coffee shop today, but just to kind of set the stage. So I have officially written the ending of the book, but it's not quite fully done. And here's why. So the other day I went back through and kind of took inventory of all those bracket scenes, and there are 6 of them. And when I complete those 6 bracket scenes, that means that the book will be readable the whole way through. That is my mission for today, should I choose to accept it. I am armed with hydrangeas and also a matcha, because you just gotta, I just am loving colorful things lately. It's just been bringing me a lot of joy lately. So cheers, let's get to it. So yesterday I sat down and worked on 2 of the 6 bracket scenes, and they were the 2 longest ones actually, which felt really good. For some reason I kind of had a mental block about one of these scenes in particular. I thought it was going to take a really long time to figure out, but once I sat down it actually came a lot easier than I thought. So I really just have the 4 more bracket scenes to go, and then I'm done with this book. Well, friends, I have 4 of those kind of bracketed scenes to add into the manuscript today, and I think I can get it all done today. So I think today is going to be the day that I finish this draft. Let's get to work. Finished off those last 2 scenes that needed to be written, and then when I had finished writing the last scene, I went back and kind of scrolled back through the whole manuscript in its entirety to make sure that that I hadn't missed anything, you know, that everything was in the right order, the chapters were all titled correctly, and that was so surreal, because for the first time, I saw the whole thing. I started writing the first chapter in May of 2022, and it's now June of 2025, so that took me 3 years and 1 month to write the full draft. I did a lot of editing as I wrote the last 3 years. It's so surreal to see the ending of it. Yeah. I don't know why this is literally 3 years of my whole heart and soul being poured into this book, and it's done now. I can't believe it. It has been just one of the biggest dreams of my entire life to see this book in bookstores, to see you guys read it, to get to talk about it with you, and I know I still have a long way to go until that happens, but today just felt like I'm one step closer, and it's so much more real now than it was even yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out the whole manuscript, I'm going to put it away in a drawer, and then in a month I'm going to pull it out and start the edits. So today is June 30th, which means that I will be able to pull it out July 30th. I'm also really excited to jump into book 2, which I know is totally jumping ahead of myself, but I think if I'm putting this book away for a month, I want to have some other kind of creative project to focus on. So I'm actually going to be plotting book 2 in the interim, so you can expect that video soon. We're going to be storyboarding out a sequel. I think I told you guys this before in a couple of my videos, but I did write this whole trilogy in high school, and the story's obviously grown and changed a lot since then, so I'm in many ways I feel like I'm writing it all from scratch because it's a completely different story than it was back then. But there are a lot of the elements that are coming through, a lot of the kind of the ambience, and a lot of the locations, the characters, the general scope of it is all kind of the same. And there's just a lot of book 2 that I've been dying to write, but I've been very patient and I've put it off. All good things ahead, and today's just a good day. I have felt so cluttered down by this ending that by the time I finished writing that last scene, all I wanted to do was clean my room, just putter around, rearrange, dust, put papers and books away. And then when everything was put away and the room felt clean and new again, I was able to finally get down to business to format and print out Project Amaranth. 150,000 words, 550 pages, 3 years and 1 month later, and Project Amaranth was finally drafted.